Hello. Today I wanted to talk to you about building wealth, and the reason why this is such a hot topic is because it's not taught in school. So many people, unless your family did well ahead of you and they actually talked about their finances, where most families do not, this may have never been passed on to you. May have been something that you've never really understood truly on how to build wealth. So that's something I help my clients with, and it's a huge focal point of our conversation: is how do we balance living today, but also building wealth for the future and making sure that they're doing the most efficient, smartest decisions for what they're trying to achieve. I don't know if you know this, but there's actually 6 wealth factors that influence your wealth potential, and that is frugality, confidence, responsibility, planning and monitoring, focus, and social indifference. So there's a few areas where I can help my clients tremendously with the confidence, the planning and monitoring, and staying focused. The kind of other 3 areas where it's going to be really heavily influenced by how my clients view the world and how determined they are to make changes and achieve their goals. And that would be the frugality, the responsibility, and social indifference side. Obviously, there's a few things that I can talk about where I may be able to help them see a little bit bigger picture in those areas, but overall it's going to come down to what their background is and what's important to them. So all those things are going to come into play. In addition to those 6 wealth factors, though, there's a few other things that you have to think about. You have to think about investments, you have to think about liabilities, and you have to think long term. And so just really quickly, I'll hit on each one of those, but over the course of this week, I'm going to drop videos where there's more focus on each one of these levels. But in the investment standpoint, you should be thinking that it could be investments in yourself, either personally or professionally. Other investments could include investing in businesses, so that could be in the stock market, or it could be in your own business if you're a business owner, or that's a goal of yours is to become a business owner. You can also invest in real estate, which is another investment option. Those are typically the 2 most common ways that people build wealth, is through investing in businesses and investing in real estate. Obviously, there's a million different things you could invest in outside of that, but those tend to be the most common ways that people build wealth over time. One of the problems, though, is starting out, you're going to be limited with your assets that you can invest in those types of things. So what becomes a really either a constraint or maybe something that could help you leverage that would be the possibility of taking on debt. So you can take out a mortgage, you can take out student loans, you can take out credit cards and personal lines of credit. So obviously there's good credit, bad credit, and how you're going to use those is definitely going to impact your wealth potential over time. But that'll be a conversation worth having. Then the last thing is long-term thinking. So a lot of people don't realize this, but when you're investing, there's the value of compound returns that occur, and that means that your investments can grow pretty dramatically over time if you allow them time to do so. So starting early is going to be crucial. On the negative side of that, though, is there's something called inflation. And so I don't know if you remember back 10 years ago, but if you were to go and buy something at the store, most likely it was way significantly cheaper a few years ago, or even 10, 15 years ago. And you can even do this with a parent or a grandparent. Just ask them how much a Hershey's bar cost back when they were a child, and they'd probably say 15 cents or 50 cents or something pretty dramatic. So you can see just from that quick question how impactful inflation can be. So inflation compounds annually potentially as well. So that's a negative factor where the cost of things just end up going up over time. So again, over the course of this week, I'm going to drop videos where I can pinpoint those a little bit more fully, talk and flesh out those talking points so that you can understand the different areas where you may want to focus on building your wealth and focusing your time. And then also feel free to reach out if you did want to take that wealth potential assessment, because it's pretty easy to send that out to you, and you can take that for free, and I'll send you the results. In addition to that, if you're thinking about this stuff and I just blew your mind, maybe we should have more of a one-on-one conversation and start to think about maybe working together long term, because there's every day that goes by, every year that goes by, you're losing out on that compound interesting that could be occurring and that could be working in your favor and losing out on valuable time essentially. So feel free to reach out, and in the meantime, stay tuned. I'll be dropping these videos, and just reach out whenever you have questions. Take care.